Hello there, my name is Mary Ajagwe and welcome to Dare to Live with me. So, did you listen to the last podcast? On Start with What You Have. What are your thoughts? I'd like you to share with me. You can connect with me on social media, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And you can also send me an email. I leave my details in the chat so you can do that. So, today we'll be talking about you have something in your hands. You have something. I repeat, you have something in your hands. You're not empty handed. So I'll give a story again. I mean, literally, I think I work better with stories and all. Some of them are not necessarily directly related to me, but then I just use them as illustrations. So there's this story in the Bible about the parable of the talents. So there was a master, you know, um, who was going on a very long journey, and he called his servants to himself, and he decided to give them something. He did not leave without giving each servant something. He gave to each servant something before he left. To one, he gave five, to another, he gave two, to another, he gave one. So that is saying that he had three servants. So let's just assume he had three servants in his house. So try and relate that to the present day. You are currently working, maybe a professional, whatever sphere of life that you work in, and you have someone, you're about to go on a journey, and then you call the people that work in your house, maybe your house help, your gate man, your security guard, the cook. That's if you are in that place. And then you decide to say, oh, you know what, I'm leaving. I'll be going on a journey. I need to get to Port Harcourt, or I need to get to Abuja, for a week's training at work, blah, 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 all of that. Then you say to them, you know what, the house needs to be clean, the kitchen needs to be clean, this has to be done, da, 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 da. You cannot give those responsibilities to them without knowing what they are capable of, right? So when this master was going, he understood each servant's capacity rather. He knew their capabilities, and he handed to one. He handed over to one five. He handed over to another two. He handed over to another one. And as he did that, he went on a journey. He left. The one that was given five looked at his hand and then understood that he had just been given something, five, and he began to make use, he began to invest in it, he began to do stuff with it, and ultimately he increased it to another five, which was altogether 10. The one with two also looked in his hands and said, oh, my boss has given me something, this is what I need to do. Went, doubled up, and it became, four. Then the one with one, I basically feigned ignorance, like, okay, and went and buried it. Then the boss came back and asked, okay, I gave you five, I gave you two, I gave you one. And they each gave a report of how the journey has been and all that they've done with what they had been given. Now, going back to what the core of this podcast is about, it is that you have been given something. I know you look on social media, you scroll through pages, and you see people doing great stuff and massive things, and you look at yourself and you're like, I don't really think I have anything. Shocker. You actually do have something. God has given you something in your hands, and it is very important that you make use of what you have been given. So I'm here today to tell you, in case you're not aware, or you're trying to um, feign ignorance like the one with the one talent and like, I don't think this is enough. Let me give you a rude awakening, dear brother and sister. What you have in your hands is just enough to start. What you have has been anointed to be able to solve a problem. What you have in your hands is equipped enough to start you off on the journey. And as you go along and as you put in the effort, you put in the work, you put in the time with all the necessary ingredients that is required, it will expand in your hands. And like the profitable servants, you will be able to give a very, very awesome report of how the whole thing started. We just were discovering that you have something in your hands. So having something in your hands might not necessarily be physical. So when I say you have something in your hands, you might have a talent, you might have a gifting. Like for me, I'd mentioned in the earlier podcast, I said I discovered service, that I just liked to serve. I just like to serve. Now from service, it increased, right? I started working as a customer service representative, and from there, I began to discover different things. From there, I discovered how to become a virtual assistant. From there, digital marketing. From there, I mean, literally designing by myself on Canva, self taught. So many things. It began to increase in my hands, and then trainings started to come in. God started to expand me, literally, right? So I'm saying to you that I know you think that what you have in your hands is not enough, but I'm saying that do not be like that servant with the one talent. Do it. I mean, at a point, of course, he knew that it was some, but he just didn't think of that one as something good enough to be able to start. He didn't think of that one that was given to him as anything. So for you, you might have discovered that one. So I'm saying start with that, right? Put it to good use. And for you that you think that you do not have anything, and that, oh, it's just your friends that God has given something to, my dear, you do not have coconut head. When God was creating you, He created you with, He blessed you with potentials, He blessed you with giftings, He blessed you with things that are beyond what you can even imagine, right? So I'm saying that you have something in your hands. Get to discover what it is. If you're not sure, ask what it is. For me, I discovered service. Now, from service, then I discovered that I'd been given a gift of writing, right? And then I'd gone to a radio school. I'd done trainings on radio production, voiceovers. So I literally grew in different dimensions, right? I mean, looking back and talking about it now, I just feel like I grew through a lot, right? So I'm saying to you that you have something in your hands. Do not make light of it. Do not make light of yourself, because you're powerful. You have something on the inside of you. And I mean, you are just so amazing that God thought of you and decided, you know what? I've blessed you. I'm saying go and have dominion. Go and dominate your world, whichever sphere that is, right? So you definitely, definitely have something in your hands. Make use of it. Thank you.